Okay, welcome to this webinar on how to automate your emails. This is a demonstration by myself. I'm Danna Crawford, also known as Power Selling Mom. I am an authorized local expert and solutions provider with Constant Contact. Okay, there we go. You can find all of my information online. I'm not going to bore you with all my details, but you can find me on Facebook. Give me a shout out. It's Danna Crawford with the number 1. On Twitter, it's Danna Crawford, and then you can email me. Everybody will have my email address. All right, this agenda, we're going to talk about a trial account, a paid account, how to log in. Of course, we're here to set up automation, but we are going to talk about list creation because it is a part of the automation process. And then I am going to go through how to set this all up. We're going to talk a little bit about templates, and then we'll have Q&A at the end. So here we have a common sign-in screen. So please make sure you see the Power Selling Mom name so that you can so I can get credit for my presentation. So if you do not see it, just type it in, powerselling.mom.constantcontact.com, into your browser to reassure I receive my gold star for showing you this demo. So here you could put your email box in to start the free trial. Just fill it out, put your email address in, and then click on Try It Free. And here you should see the Power Selling Mom name at the bottom, and then just simply fill it all out. Now if you, here it is, you'll see it at the bottom, and this is how you would fill out. No credit card needed. You would just fill it all out to start your free trial. And then if you want to skip the trial and you want to click on Buy Now, all you do is, again, fill out this screen. And again, you'll see the Power Selling Mom name at the bottom, and it's easy to fill out, and they will ask for your credit card info. And this will be the fast track to kickstart your marketing. And I will share more information about this later, but for now, also on this screen is the way for you to log in. So whether you're on a free trial or you have a paid account, no matter what it is, this is where you would go to log in at the top right. Now this will be the login screen no matter if it's a trial or a paid account. And I do know that you can adjust your account to a paid account at any time. So you will notice all this when you log in and see choices. Then when your trial is up, which I know you'll want to just skip the trial and go right to paid when you see all of the benefits with this marketing system. All right, so now we're ready to log into our account. Now, I wanted to point out, after you log in, some of you will see a screen that looks like this. And when you first log in, others may see a screen that looks like this. So these are two different front doors, depending on how you found your way in and which version of the Constant Contact tools you're using, but both lead to the same functionality. So the version on top shows the home page for people that use the standalone products, and the one below shows the Constant Contact Toolkit, which bundles all of the tools together. So I can answer questions about the difference between the two at the end of the session as needed, but again, both of these home pages are just different front doors to get the same room full of great tools. So now let's open up our window, and we're going to talk about creating a list. Now, I talked about list building in the previous webinar, And for those of you that missed that session, I will add a link to view it in the follow-up email of this presentation so that you can view it for more information later. But today it's all about automation. And the one thing I learned about using Constant Contact for this feature is you must start with a list. So you cannot add automation to an established list because of the scheduling system. So this may change in the Constant Contact system later, but for now, this is the way it is. So if you have people on an established list, no worries. They can be added to a new list as well. So when you set up a list for automation, which you'll see more in a minute, but contacts can usually be added to several lists, actually. Now, we talked about, so this is where we will manage, all right, so we're going to go ahead and click on contacts, and then this is where we're going to create our list. So we're just going to click on email lists located down at the bottom. And then here is where you'll see the list management. Now everybody that sets up an account will automatically have a general interest list, but we're going to enter a new list. And this is where we're going to give it a name. So here you can type in whatever you like as a list name. The public will not see this name, so let's call this purchase list, just to let you see how this works. And then we're going to add the list. Now, you can see here I have several lists that I created. So I have my calendar list, my eBay items list, eBay listings purchased of this item also includes a subscription to my newsletter. So what I do is in my eBay listing, for those of you that are eBay sellers, in my eBay listing that I have the calendar. So if anybody purchases my calendar, it also includes a bonus to receive a monthly email for the next year. So I make that as part of my selling package. And then if you have, for those of you that maybe have blue jeans or an ebook or you offer consulting, you would want to give it a list name. So whatever your industry that you're in, you will be able to create different lists in your industry. Now, whoops, we're going to create. Now that we've got our list ready, we've got our list ready, we can click Home and Create just to automate your emails to get started. Now this is what's going to kickstart the series. Now you'll see at the bottom there is birthday and anniversary emails, which will take you to create an email you can schedule. On another webinar, I'll talk about those. But today, let's just click Create our own series. I wanted to show you how I set mine up for the people that purchase my calendar on eBay. So now, the first thing I do is this is going to be my series, my autoresponder series for the people that purchase my calendar. So what I'll do is I'll give it a name at the top, give the series a name, and then choose which list that this series is going to be for. And then now we'll set up our first automated email by either creating a new email or copying an existing email. And then we just continue. Now in this situation, we're going to create a new email. Now, for those of you that have paid accounts, you may be entitled to a branded template, which can be found at this tab. You'll see it at the top. A branded template will match your website, eBay store, or blog. So you can contact me for more information about getting one, or just sign up for today with a paid account using my link, and then shoot me an email, and I'll start the process to get one created for you, which actually Constant Contact charges $99 for that, but there would be no fee today. So moving on, I suggest a thank you as the first email that should go out in your series. Thank them for subscribing and give them a feel for what lies ahead. Now, when you find the template that you select, when you choose which one you want to use, just click on Select. And just like with any type of email setup, the first step is to customize the campaign. So you would click on the pencil. What I personally like to do when I'm creating an autoresponder series to help me keep track is to number them. So this one will be called number 1. Thank you for subscribing. And then after you type in the words, you can click anywhere on the page and it will automatically be saved. So just so you know, the public does not see the name that you give it. It's for your eyes only to help you keep track. Now, if you keep your email design basic with general type wording, then you can reuse it for other autoresponders going forward if desired. So we'll call it number 1, thank you for subscribing. Now it's ready for us to create. Then, once you have it complete and tested, so there's more webinars coming on different types of emails, but for this one, we're going to continue. See at the top, you can either continue after we've worked on this email. We have the choice to either continue or to add another email. And we are going to continue, or excuse me, we're going to, when we're ready to continue, that'll actually be the final process. But add another email will allow us to get started on the second email of our series. Or we could copy this email if we were using a branded template to use for the next email. So you can see we have choices here. We can either start a new email or copy this email. So let's go ahead and start a new email. Now, it'll bring us right back to selecting a template. And again, we're going to choose which template. We can go through the page, we'll scroll down, and you can go through all of the lists and all of the options. And then when you choose a template, again, customize the campaign. That's the first thing we do, and give it a name. So you can see I called this one Second Week, and then Dream Goals. So then I'll know what the topic was of my newsletter. And then you can see I adjusted the subject to Dare to Dream, and then this is where I could insert my logo, and then I would just customize and spend some quality time working on this template. And when I'm done, again, I would either start a new email or copy this email or continue. But I'm ready to start a new email and start the process all over again. So I'm sure you can see now how we're getting the feel for creating this series. It takes you right back to the template page. Again, we scroll through our template options. We're going to select a template, and then, of course, we're going to customize it. We're going to give it a name. This one I'm going to call 30-Day Email, and then Power Listing as my topic. And then I'm going to create my email. Now, I'm not going into details because today's presentation is about creating an email. So I'm not going into all of those details. I'm just showing you how to follow through with the customization. Now, say I'm only going to have 3 in this series. All I would do is when I'm ready is to click on continue instead of adding another email. Or you could save it all and you could come back to it later. But for now, let's click continue. Now we can view the main screen. It'll tell you, great work. So you can see it says review your summary below and make sure to activate when ready. So this is not live. This isn't real. It's just a practice kind of page. And this is the great part for you because you can get in here and practice and just see what it's like to go through this process, and you can cancel, you can delete them. You'll see each one, each action. This was the first one we created, the second one, the third one, and then each place has an action where I can schedule it, I can edit it, I can copy, I can preview, I can unschedule it. So there's several options here. I could unschedule it. So what happens when you schedule. So we're going to click on the first one. So thank you for subscribing, and immediately this is going to now allow us to select when we'd like the email to go out as the series. So we can either have it immediately after the contact is added to the list. So let's say you have a list that you created and it's got you put the list out there, like say on your website or on a special page somewhere. And then as soon as they click on the subscribe, the first email would go out. You can schedule it so that that list would be set up this way. We can also have it go out immediately, well, hours. We can select how many hours we want it to go out after they're added to the list. Now again, they can either join a list or you can manually add them to the list. So for me as an eBay seller, what I do is after they purchase my item, then I add them to the list. And again, in my description, they know up front that they're going to be added to a list. It's not something that I'm spamming people with, so they are aware. And then I can decide if this email is going to go out days after, weeks after, whichever I choose. So number one, the first email, let's say I want it to be sent 1 day after they're added. So they get added to the list, and then tomorrow, whatever time of day that they get added, 24 hours later, they would receive the first email. So you could adjust the days to whichever, whatever direction you want to go. But this is how I did it. I just did 1 day. Some people may want to do a couple hours after they're added. It's up to you. And then we'll return back to adjust the next one. And again, the second week, I can decide how many days I'll want to send this one out, this one for the dream goals, and I can choose, okay, we want this one to go out 14 days. So you can see number one in the series is scheduled, and I want it to go out 14 days after the first email. Not after they join, but 14 days after the first email that went out. So in 2 weeks, they'll get the second email. And then the next one, I will set up for 30 days after the second email. So you can see how this reaction will start. The first email will go out the next day. The second email goes out 14 days. And then in 14 days after that one, then this one goes out 30 days. And then you just go through this process of all of these emails depending on how often you want them sent. It's really, really cool. the way that this is set up because it makes your life so much easier. I can actually set up all of my emails like this in a couple days for the whole year. Now, when you log into your account, you'll also be able to view the activity from the home page. So, of course, I have no activity because these haven't gone out yet. Now, this is my my practice account that I use for demos. This isn't my actual personal account. But I just want to show you, to give you an idea, for my personal autoresponder, I want you to see how the statistics look. Now, this is from my page. You can see I created this autoresponder January 11th, 2015, and it's set up for this schedule. So the first one goes out one day after they're added. You can see I've sent out 52 of them. And then the next one goes out 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90, 120, all the way up to 330 days. And then it'll be over. So what I did was I gave them little titles. You can see how this works. And then what's awesome about this is you can see what's going on. So I sent 52. 2 of them bounced. And it actually allowed me to contact the people and say, I just, checking to see if you got your email. We were able to straighten that out. And then if anybody reports you for spam, that lets you see. And then if anybody opted out of the list, it lets you see. And then it also shows me how many people opened the email. So we had 38 people open out of 52. And 13 clicks. So that meant that whatever my call to action was, we had 13 people click on different things. And then again, 49 were sent on the 14-day one. So you can see the list is changing with 49, 41, 21, because it's all going to depend on what day they were added to the list. So these 9 people were probably added about the same time, and then, no, I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 people were added about the same time, and then it just carries on. It's so cool how this works. And then you can just follow along, and then here's, like, for example, 41 were sent. This was on a goal reward 60 day. 41 have been sent. Only 13 people opened it. So I don't know why, but 13 people opened it. And then again, 49 were sent, 27 people opened it, and only 1 clicked. So you can see if what's working and what's not working. So it could be maybe they didn't like the subject line or whatever. This is how you keep track. Also, when I have special lists like this is strictly for people that have purchased my calendar on eBay. I will never send this list anything else except the information that they're getting about this calendar. I would not shoot them, hey, join up for Constant Contact or buy my eBay consulting or anything like this. I would treat this list with respect and never cross-promote on something like this. This is a designated list, and it shouldn't be taken advantage of. Now, if I go into it deeper, like that first one, this is from the first one. 52 were sent, 2 bounced. My open rate was 76% because we had 38 opens, 13 clicks. Now I can look even deeper into this. This is another reason why I love using Constant Contact, because I can measure my status. I can take a look at the statistics. So I can see what works, what does not work, what are people interested, what do they hate, and all of this helps me improve myself as a better marketer. So I can pay attention. Now, the first one, this was to go to my Facebook business page, Danna Crawford 1. Only 1 person clicked that. 1 person went to Pinterest. one person went to Twitter, 6 people went to YouTube. Now, it looks like YouTube was the most popular choice on there. And then the other one was another YouTube channel, which actually, one of them was for them to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and one was to view whatever video it was I had in there. So you can see in this situation, YouTube was more exciting than any of my other links. Now here was LinkedIn. There was my calendar page for events. This was to contact me. This was my website about me. And then here was my Google+. So none of these were interesting to these people. All they were interested was YouTube. Okay, now I want to share with you my master template. Now this is the top half of my master newsletter template that I have stored in my template file for branded templates. So it's ready for me to customize. I can change whatever I need to. Like if I'm just going to send out a quick email, I can delete all of these lower articles, these lower blocks. I can remove them, and I could make it a short template or a long template. I can adjust what I need. But my point is that from a marketing standpoint, it's important to cross-promote yourself with the same colors, the same brand, the same logo. Be consistent. And here you can see the bottom half of my template. And it'll have a coupon. I can remove it if I'm sending something out and, hey, I don't want to send a coupon. All I have to do is remove that. I can change the way the order. All of this is adjustable. And I know this is in another webinar series on how to create your newsletter, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is when you have a branded template to help make them all match if you choose to in your series. Now in my calendar series, I use this template and every one of them match. And yes, we have a special offer. The main thing today was that you learned how to do the automation. So a special offer for today's attendees is the free website match template, $99 value. If you purchase your Constant Contact account today and you use powersellingmom.com or powersellingmom.constantcontact.com, I will help you set up your template. And you can see how nice it is when you have a website with a matching template, and it just is really cool. So in review, you're going to see the value of creating lists. I want you to log into your account, create some lists so you get the feel for this, create some emails, and every email, every newsletter, something should have some type of call to action that you're sending out. I think that it's important to have at least one call to action. And you can see from my statistics, some of those calls to actions didn't work. So now I'll know, don't include those anymore. Also, it's important to share helpful information. People do not want you to slam them with buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. People do want you to share your useful information. I noticed somebody that signed up for today's webinar is involved with wine tasting. I would like to see emails on that talk about different flavors of wine, that give me some tips about serving wine, about storing wine, all of this helpful information, and then you can have a coupon at the bottom or something that's going to help me with purchasing from you. Another person I know sells handbags, so share with me about how the best way to clean a handbag, the best way to store and protect the leather, or little tips and tricks that's going to help people. And then grow your list. Now, we talked about list building last time. I'm not going to go into that, but it is important to continue growing your list so that you can continue marketing. Because you know what? As you grow, people will opt out. They will not want, maybe their lives have changed, things are different in their lives, so they don't want to get your emails anymore. Don't be insulted by that. It's just the way that it is. And do know that somebody new is going to come and join your list. You know, when somebody leaves, it's no big deal. But you do have to continually look for opportunities to grow your list. And then that template. Use a template. Be consistent with your brand and your colors. Have the custom template options. And then again, measure the results. And see what's working, what's not working. Pay attention. And then you know how to follow up as needed, if a follow-up is needed. So that is it for the quick review. Now, everyone is invited. If you're a Facebook user, I actually have a new group that I just started, and it's called facebook.com/groups/ConstantContact1. And this is the group where I'm going to be putting up all of my replays from all of the training, and so that we can discuss. If you have questions, you need help with Constant Contact, we're all here. It's a focus group, focused strictly for Constant Contact users in my circle. So I'd love to have you join. Just do a search for it and then request to join. Love to have you. Okay, now I'm going to open it up for questions. I think everything was pretty straightforward. I'm not seeing any questions posted, so that's good. Everybody was able to understand everything I talked about. Now, this wasn't, you know, a long demonstration. Let's see, we're good 30 minutes. The main thing was for you to see how easy it is and how awesome. You can set up these tools, and it just can make your life so much easier. Let's see, what are some of the ways people are added to a Constant Contact list? Well, they generally, you know, you can't spam them, so you can't just casually throw people on a list without permission, because we are about permission-based. So you would have a couple options. You would invite them. So what I usually recommend is, like, if I had a client the other day who had a large database in her Gmail account, and I said, all we have to do is create one major email, and then explain in the email, this is a one-time mailing, but I want you to see, you know, I want you to subscribe to my newsletter to receive exclusive offers and industry news with helpful tips and tricks, and you just encourage them to subscribe to that list, whatever it is that you created, and then they'll all be added to that list. That's one way. Another way is if you have like an offer of something that you're selling, and then you tell them that they're going to be added to the list as well. If you watch the list building video, I had 51 tips for growing your list. Can Facebook friends sign up if a Constant Contact link is added to the page? Yes. Your Facebook page should have automatically a place for them to sign up. And I know if you go to Danna Crawford 1, that's my Facebook business page. If you go there, you can see what I'm talking about. There on the left side, there is a place for people to automatically subscribe to my newsletter. And, you know, it's a good way also, because if you check that out, I have a way for people to subscribe to whatever list they want. I have a whole list of lists waiting for people to subscribe. Or I have another website that's called joinmynewsletter.com. So if you go to joinmynewsletter.com, then you can look on that page, and you'll see all of my lists, or several lists, are lined up. and then you can pick and choose which list. So that's another option. Come up with a catchy URL name like I did, and it's real easy for me to tell people go to joinmynewsletter.com. I can shout that out when I'm speaking at an event or wherever, and then you'll see what I'm talking about when you go to that page, because there's my list lined up, and then people can pick and choose. Okay, well, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to do this again on Thursday morning, so please share the link if you know anyone that you feel would benefit from it. And I'll also be sending out the replay that you're welcome to share as well. And I hope to see you in the Facebook group. Thanks, and happy automation. Make your life easy, get those all scheduled, and then you've got the rest of the month off because you've scheduled all of your emails. It works great.